Appreciate everybody being here. Wanted to cover a couple things. First, I know certainly everyone will have the right to speak in a public forum, but I've been addressed by some of these folks with some information that I wanted to make sure we just address right out front. I want to start around the question of the city charter, and I'd like, if we don't mind, for Adam Cobb, our city attorney, to explain some of the facts around that actual issue. If we could start with that.
Sure. I mean, happy to address. I assume we're talking about what's in and what's not in our charter. I've had a chance to speak to some of you about and respond to some questions from some of you, specifically as it relates to the referendum process. There is nothing in our charter that prohibits enforcing or taking action on a approved council measure during the pendency or application for a referendum. Again, there is nothing in our charter to that effect. In short, our charter provides that unless and until a referendum vote occurs and the electors vote to successfully overturn a council action, that council action is and remains valid and effective. Happy to answer any questions. I think it's as short and sweet as that. Happy to answer any questions you guys might have related to it, though.
All right, appreciate that. And then hopefully, I know there's some new faces in here. I know a couple folks out here. If you haven't been able to watch, would have been great as we talk about housing and address what would be used here. I know some of the folks over here, last time we saw them was during the. I know some people had shared their thoughts about the state of emergency for housing in the city. So I know that's top of mind for all of us. I would suggest if we're not there, show a hand. Maybe a couple people. I know Councilwoman Myers is here, but if not, I would suggest that you watch that on Monday. And it was exactly that, a discussion, the mayor, the council, and public discussion about what would be done to ensure affordability, community land trusts, and things like that at the current space. And lastly, again, the myth that this property was has somehow been taken away from the public using it. Again, we've documented many times that this was under lease by a private organization for 5 years. There hasn't been open public gym space here for close to 20 years. And if we had not had to close it for life safety issues, was continuing under a lease signed a few years ago for the next 17 years by Lighthouse Christian. So while I understand and the general need, and Councilman Bare's mentioned it before about maybe we need more gym space in the city, I don't disagree with that. But that doesn't make putting it right back in its place from 70 years ago, that means that's the most prudent decision. So anyway, I'm just addressing those things because of course, some in this group have addressed me today, and I wanted to do that in a public setting, not through social media. So thanks.
Thank you. Dr. Gloria Horning.
Good evening. As I heard that Pledge Allegiance, liberty and justice for all. The flood ordinance that was produced 12/22 by then President Wiggins on, it was ordinance 29.22 and 39.22, clearly states that under rules of fill and build, it must not impact other public and private properties. Guess what those 12 houses are doing that are on Fort Street, or the back of their houses are on Fort Street. Front of their houses are flooding the road and those homes when cars go through. Those 12 unpermitted French drains are still there. I wanted to make sure I was sure because Mr. Bilby said he thought it was an FDEP permit. I made sure before I came here today again. Elizabeth Orr said FDEP did no permit. The only permit, and Andrew Jocelyn from the Northwest Florida Water District provided it to me. And I provided it to y'all. There's one permit, and not one of them not that one, has French drains on it. I can promise you, if I started digging a French drain, code enforcement would be on my back in 5 seconds. Liberty, justice for all. It's not happening. How much more do y'all want me to go through in my neighborhood to go through? How much more? Do you have panic attacks when it rains? All I want is liberty and justice for all. I want those French drains closed. And as in the mayor's quote with ABC National News, we can't wait for another Sally to address our flood issues we're facing today. And that was 2 years ago. And I've been coming here for 8. And again, the kicking the can down the road of my house being raised. I don't know who's got their little fingers over at Florida Department of Emergency Management to keep pushing this back another 30 days, another 30 days, another 30 days. But y'all can push back clocks, and you can move clocks fast when it's good for you, i.e. Malcolm Yonge. Liberty and justice for all, and follow your own codes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Horning. Councilman Bare, did you have something for Dr. Horning?
Thank you, Mr. President. My comment was related to the comment made by the mayor. I've never seen a case where the mayor got to address the council before Boyd Forum. Just wanted to register my opposition to that. Council's never got an opportunity to do that. The mayor has mayor's communications to give his communications. He should wait to that point.
Thank you. I guess in that case, in the future, if you have an issue, just call a point of order and I'll consider it. But his name came up just like yours did, so I called on him just like I called on you. Next is Sarah Brummett.
Good evening. My name's Sarah Brummett. I live in the city. I'm here today to remind this city that it is elected to serve the people of Pensacola and not the developers. It's an outrage that our mayor, whose salary is paid with our tax dollars, characterizes the concerned citizens who are participating in a democratic process as laid out by the city charter as pearl clutchers. It's outrageous that the city has undermined that democratic process and violated the spirit, if not the letter, of the city charter, and that our mayor has condescendingly gone on the record that this decision was made on the basis that the petitioning effort represents only a small minority of the population. That is an easy assertion to make when you don't let the issue go to referendum. That is an easy assertion to make when you don't count the votes of the people, when you don't let the petitioning effort go forward. It's also clearly a lie. If you look at any social media post in any Facebook group, if you look at any of the articles about this, if you look back to recent city council meetings, you will see a wide variety of people from all backgrounds, from all neighborhoods, from all races, from all ages, who have been passionately speaking about the need to preserve what makes our city great for its workers and not just great for the developers. This is an undemocratic destruction of a community resource, and we see it for what it is. It's a cowardly move to advance the interests of gentrification before the people had a chance to say otherwise. But the people of Pensacola, I'm just putting y'all on notice, they are done with the way that the city sells us out. We see through all the justifications. We see through all the misrepresentations. And we do not believe what y'all have to say when you say, oh, we're going to use it to build affordable housing. We saw what affordable housing looks like to Pensacola when y'all developed the former site of the Blunt School. So we are putting y'all on notice. The people of this city are tired of leaders who brag about the number of $1 million houses sold here when the average person can't afford to live, when you're tearing down our resources, when you make ridiculous promises and our basic needs continue to go unmet and our homeless community grows larger and they have no needs that are being met. The cost of living here is out of range for your average working person. And if your average working person can't afford to live here, who is going to work here? Pensacola needs to be a city for the workers who make the city run, not for the developers, not for the investors, not for the landlords. And you can say anything that you want, but we see the pattern, we see what's going on, we see the side that you're taking, and it's not going to be able to continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brummett. Deshaun McKenzie.
Good evening, Council. I want to start by saying I spent the last 2 days really mulling over what I was going to say about the Malcolm Yonge demolition. I really spent a lot of time thinking about all the City Council meetings that I've come to over the last 3 or 4 years. As I've said many times, I'm sure, at least 1 or 2 of you knows me by name now. I've come up enough. I'm a teacher in this city. I see the teacher shortage we have. We can't hire educators. I've watched our principals go out to other areas to try to recruit people, and they're like, we can't afford what you pay is not enough to live in that city. We're suffering from y'all's decision making. I've come here about FPL and the skyrocketing, the price gouging that was going on with them and the feasibility study that y'all refused to pursue. And we were told that you guys were concerned with affordable housing, not with electric bills. And then when we came about affordable housing, and we came multiple times, and we were condescended to multiple times and told, oh, we don't understand the issue, or y'all have a plan, and we just have to wait. That has been years now, and we've seen nothing. Nothing's come to fruition because we don't believe you. At this point, we know that you guys are in bed with developers. We know that that's your angle, that's your goal, and the people don't believe you. I'm actually glad that the mayor spoke before the meeting because it kind of got out in front and he went ahead and condescended to us in advance and let us know that, oh, you just don't understand the charter. You don't understand the laws. You don't get it. None of you up there are government experts. You guys are small business owners, teachers, you got historians. You guys are not experts in government any more than the people are. And we elected you to represent the people, not to go make decisions that price us out of the city at the benefit of developers. When we came about affordable housing, we were told that homeownership was more important, right? But then when it's time to tear down a gym, now affordable housing matters. The way y'all spin every single time we come to talk to y'all about something is very clear because you keep spinning and spinning and spinning because your end goal is just to make money for developers. It's not for us. And it's very clear to the people. Now, we may not have a giant audience behind us tonight, but I know we collected thousands of petitions already, people who care about that gym. I know that at my job, everybody I talk to knows exactly who y'all are. No, not a single person I've talked to in the last couple of weeks believes that anything's gonna go on that property besides those ugly 2-story townhomes that litter Belmont Village right now. We know exactly what y'all are gonna do. You're gonna tell us it's affordable, for whom I don't know, not me, not on my educator salary. And you're gonna tell us that we don't understand the laws and you guys understand the dollars more than we do and we just don't get it. That we're infantilized, we're children. We need to be told what's best for us. Despite the fact that I saw a room full of people tell y'all to not demolish that gym, and it wouldn't have hurt you to simply wait the 6 months to wait for the referendum. Did it cost money for the gym to sit there empty? I don't think it would have. It's not running any power, it's not running any water, but why rush to demolish it? Unless there's some developer y'all have a deal with already, unless there's some developer that you already made a promise to. And we know that's the reality. So I want to close by saying, whatever condescending remarks y'all are going to follow this up with, can you please come back up front? We're going to tell you how you're wrong and how your feelings are incorrect. The people don't want to hear it. And like Sarah said before, we're fed up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McKenzie. Sherry Myers. Sherry Myers, is she here? Okay.
For the people. So my name is Sherry Myers, and I am a proud pearl clutcher. And I'm going to try not to be hysterical tonight. So I don't want to talk about what you've done to Malcolm Yonge. I was there. I witnessed it being destroyed and the rubble. But more disturbingly, what I have witnessed is the destruction of our Constitution, our democratic form of government, and our charter. And sir, I'm a member of the Florida Bar, the Kentucky Bar, retired from the Tennessee Bar, and practiced in 3 federal courts. I don't agree with your interpretation of our charter at all. So looking at statutory construction, we'll be able to argue that in another forum, I promise you. So what I want to talk about is the violation of the people's rights in a number of ways. First, you violated the charter, which gives us a process for addressing our grievances to the government. So, our country, and I am directly related to Samuel Weaver, who fought in the Revolutionary War. Our country fought hard to make sure that we don't have kings and tyrants ruling us. Thomas Jefferson said, "A Bill of Rights is what the people are entitled to against every government on earth, general or particular, and what no just government should refuse." Well, this government has refused to honor our Bill of Rights, our state constitution, and our charter. So, while you have destroyed Malcolm Yonge and our democratic institutions here, we're going to rebuild them. These people out here are. The mayor has used very condescending language to refer to those of us on the committee, pearl clutchers, hysterical. We all know that those are code words for women. The Constitution is for one person, the one. This is what you were afraid of.
Thank you, Ms.
However,
Myers.
more than one. More than one.
Our next speaker is Charlie Dial.
Hello, Council. My name is Charlie Dial. I'm a city resident, not a business owner or a property owner. There comes a time when a governmental body that regularly acts against its constituents' wishes must be held accountable for your negligence. You completely disregarded us when we pleaded with you for a state of housing emergency after we surveyed your constituents, seeing firsthand how dire the situation is. We pleaded with you to fight gun violence with resources instead of over-policing. We pleaded with you to not demolish a gym in a working-class neighborhood that is in need of repairs. The mayor keeps arguing about semantics, about whether the gym was open for public use versus private use, implying that it's not a real loss to the community. And if that's the case, then why did half of the people that I got to sign the petition tell me that they used to play basketball there when they were a kid? The mayor said on a local podcast this morning that the city's affairs won't be affected by a small group of people's concerns. And I was just wondering, when's the last time regular city affairs brought 17 people out to a specific agenda item at a city council meeting? He didn't let us show how many people care about this issue because you didn't let us finish petitioning. If you really thought that it was something that just a small group of weirdos were worried about, let us finish the civil process. The truth is that this body sitting before me does not respect the civil process, you don't respect democracy, and you don't respect us. And I'm here to let you know that we will do everything in our power to vote every one of you out until we have a body that is composed of the people and actually serves the people instead of endless profit and expansion by real estate developers. And there's quite a bit of time left. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dial. Next speaker is Jonathan Green.
Jonathan Green, city resident, business owner. Boo! 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 Boo. 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 And to conclude my last 20 minutes, boo.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. Apologies. Boo. So I can waste your time like you're wasting the people's.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Our next speaker, Beverly Perry. Just the top of it, then
Just the
down
top.
there, yeah.
Still won't go low enough. My name's Beverly Perry. Stand on my tiptoes. 622 West Belmont Street, Pensacola. I am a homeowner here. I am going to speak to you about Malcolm Yonge. I'm not going to speak about any of the legal matters. I was going to speak about how people felt, how the citizens felt, but that was just done for me, just right before me, to let you know how the people felt. So I'm just going to say that we felt disappointed yesterday morning in council and our city government. And I'm not going to speak specifically to one person or to the mayor because our charter is supposed to make city council more in control of our city government. I just want to know what the rush was. The public was not yet convinced that the gym was about to fall down. We were told there was no plan. We were told specifically several times that there's no plan for the land when the council voted on demolition. And if there's no plan, then what was the rush in tearing down a valued structure? If there was a plan, then where's the transparency? And citizens do wonder about that. So there's two things we weren't convinced of, that it was hopeless to repair the gym and that there's no plan. Rushing the demolition does not build public trust in our elected officials. One thing it brought to mind for me was the John Sunday house, which was torn down by private individuals who, of course, had control of the land. They owned it. But they did it quietly on a weekend when, I believe it was a weekend when everybody else was involved and busy other places, so that it was not generally seen by the public. And it just brought up to me, is there going to be a culture of demolition attached to Pensacola, which is supposed to be the oldest settlement and supposed to value its history? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Perry. Councilman Bare?
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to waive the rules so we can continue and finish the Boyd Forum.
That's actually all the speakers we have.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yep.